So, lads, the Fever have now cut Victoria Saxton. I actually have had a video ready to go. And the video that I've had ready to go is literally like me talking about... Basically, I said they're probably cutting Victoria Saxton in the video, but the video will be up a little bit later, and it's titled something like The Fever Are Not Done Yet. My prediction, and I think it's very, very likely in that video, is some sort of a trade where they're going to free up a lot of cap room. Let's just say that much. Because the Fever are trying to win now. They are going full on Matt Ishbia on draft picks. They don't really care. But cutting Victoria Saxton is a really interesting one because they've got no backup. They have one backup big now. They literally have one backup big. On the entire roster, they have two bigs. And by two bigs, I mean two power forwards / centers. Everyone else is a small forward or smaller. Yes, they've got some length, but none of them are power forwards. Victoria Saxton is a pretty decent player. And I mean that. I liked Victoria Saxton whenever she came on the floor last year. Like, Victoria Saxton, I thought was really solid. She's athletic. She can shoot a little bit. I was surprised she played so little. But again, there's levels to it. She's clearly not at that level. Genuinely, she's just didn't play very much. Played 9 games. Hit a 3. Hit a couple of 3s last season. And play a bit of defense. But like for in Europe right now, she's playing. She did not even play this year, did she? I'm looking, like, she played Euro Cup last year, averaged like 12 a game, and played in top league in Belgium, was really good. I don't even know if is she playing basketball? Like, I'm trying to find out. Like, I'm looking through what is she doing in the offseason, because I hadn't heard anything. Like, I don't know if she's played overseas. According to Eurobasket, she didn't play this year. I could be very wrong with that. I probably am very wrong with that. But, like, they needed to cut Victoria Saxton with their roster, obviously, having 11 players and they can fit in training camp minimum deals into the cap situation. But, like that was always kind of going to happen. Like, they're right at the salary cap. So obviously they needed to get rid of her in order to bring in another player on a minimum. But like they need 2 other players. Like, Jaylen Brown's almost certainly getting cut, by the way. Like, the Fever waiving Jaylen Brown is something that we're going to see very, very soon. Because the Fever right now, this is the Fever's bench. Jaylen Brown, wing. Christy Wallace, wing. Lexi Hull, wing. Sophie Cunningham, wing. Damaris Dantas, big. And who am I forgetting? Because their only bigs right now are Damaris Dantas and Leah Boston. Natasha Howard, maybe. Like, Natasha Howard is still 6'2" and can't really play the 5. Like, the Indiana Fever roster. Like, they have so many wings. So many wings. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, obviously they cut Celeste Taylor last year to bring in Dantas. But they've just got no size whatsoever. Like, they let Temi walk. And Temi could play the 5. Saxton couldn't even really play the 5. But I'm guessing that's what it is. I'm guessing it's just to keep a spot there for like the I think it's a spot to get so that they can bring in a big, maybe. But like, they have to bring in someone from overseas. There's no way they're using a backup point guard roster. Backup point guard as a minimum contract player. It's just not happening. We must be getting someone else. Obviously, the team only has 11 players. But I don't see Jaylen Brown staying. Now we're talking good luck. Saxton, wish her the best, what the team needed. I'm saying this now. I have an entire video on it. Like, seems right. What's the move, though? You're gonna have to. First of all, she should have been cut last year for Celeste Taylor. But again, they don't need Celeste Taylor now. They have too many wings. They got too many wings. This team's got too many wings. They'll be looking for MMA summoner Janelle Salone, who hasn't been signed yet by anyone. like Janelle Salone would work because she can play. She's like a legit MMA Simone. If there's no way she's coming to sit on the bench. There is no way Natasha Howard is sitting on the bench. There is no way like MMA Simone is not coming to Indiana. She is not going to the W to sit on the bench when she can go to Connecticut and be an all-star. She's not doing that. She's already a champion. She's already a finals MVP. She is not coming to the W to sit on the bench. People need to realize that. Janelle Salone might. Like, she's not this superstar player, but she can be really, really good. Clearing cap space now, and Katie Lou's probably next. They're not done yet, expecting a backup guard. Yeah, potentially. And frees up a spot for whatever point guard's coming. Like, it frees up a spot, and I think they're going to waive Jaylen Brown as well. Because what that means is that, like, because they do need, what the team needs is they need a backup point guard, and they need some size. They need like a Kalani Brown type big center, which you might be able to get in Sedona Prince, but again, I don't think the team's going to go for Sedona Prince. Just for non-basketball reasons. But that's what the team needs. The team does not need an undersized power forward, which is what Victaria Saxton is. Victaria Saxton can hoop a bit. She's not a bad player. Like, I'll stand by that. Like, from what we saw from Victaria Saxton last year, it was like she's plays hard. She plays defense. She's a good glue guy. Teammates seem to like her. Was really good. Was a really good player at South Carolina. Obviously not a guaranteed starter through her 4 years, but was good. Was a third round pick and made a roster. So fair play to her with that. And I do think Saxton hopefully gets picked up by somebody else. But at the same time, like when it comes to Victaria Saxton, she's like, she just doesn't fit. They don't need an undersized big. They just don't. If you're going to be a big off that bench, you have to be huge. Like they've got Damaris Dantas. They need size. Because the team can go small ball with the team can go small ball with Sophie Cunningham up to 4. And now at least with the draft, they can maybe get an Ayoka. They'll definitely get one of these 3 players. Sedona Prince, Ayoka Lee, or Rhea Marshall for some size and athleticism. They're going to make the roster. If they can get one of them, one of those is going to make the roster, and then they're freeing up space to bring in a potential backup point guard. If they can get Janelle Salone, unbelievable. But like that's the thing they're going to do. Like this is a roster that is in win now mode, and there's no point having a young player who doesn't fit, who's a third round pick, who's on a non-guaranteed contract. So obviously, I do think a team will probably pick up Victaria Saxton though, even for just a training camp deal, because I think she showed enough promise, to at least go for that. But just for keeping, in terms of keeping Victaria Saxton, there was no need to keep her. I don't think they should have kept her last year. I think Celeste Taylor they could have done with Celeste Taylor, especially in the playoffs. But yeah, they're not done. This is not the last move they make. Like that backup point guard spot is not going to. They're not going to wait on that backup point guard spot. We are going to find out in the next 24 hours what they're doing with that backup point guard spot, more than likely. Because what time did we hear about the Grace Berger stuff yesterday? Like obviously Dwana Bonner was around this time. I need to check. Was it Underdog WNBA for the Grace Berger thing? It's actually a surprise that the Grace Berger thing was announced, or the Victaria Saxton was announced straight away. It was announced before this. But like the Fever are waiving Grace Berger was an earlier one, I think. Maybe it wasn't Underdog. Oh, sorry, yeah. So it was 5 p.m. my time, so it was a little bit, it was almost like on the hour. Heck, was the Victaria Saxton thing on the hour as well? Yeah, it was on the hour. It was on the hour. So they have tweets literally going on the hour. So we're probably going to find out something in the next hour, in the next 2 hours, about whether or not they managed to get a trade for Katie Lou. But to be fair, I think that'll be broke by someone else. But anyway, I'll see you guys.